Hello. Are you alone? Is anyone with you? Well, if they are, let them listen. Today I want to talk about spouses, home life, significant others, FWB, friends with benefits, and anything else that happens when you tear that Velcro from that Kevlar and begin your off duty. This is Wood, and welcome to Mental Policing. Hey guys, like I said, this is Wood and this is Mental Policing. Part of this podcast is for your normal person, not just the officer, or whatever you consider yourself, and to get to know me just a little bit better too. In order to get to know me a little bit better, I'll let you into my world. I like to bake, I like to draw, I like to take... wait, that's the wrong episode, that's the wrong podcast. Okay, I'm a statistic. I hate being a statistic, though every aspect in our life we're a statistic, negatively or positively. I prefer to be a positive statistic or different. I even put my left sock on first, or I put my left leg in my pant leg just to be the other side of that statistic. I know it's a thing, but it's my thing. But this isn't the statistic that I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the stat that about officers, police officers, and divorce. Some would suggest that it's about 60 to 70%, and it's considerably higher than the national average of a civilian. However, this isn't a reality. We aren't much different than the average demographic in society. According to P1, First Person, The Myths and Realities of Cops and Divorce, written by Officer Jeff Shannon, LMFT, that's fancy jargon for a licensed clinician. There's little research to support this idea. This is not saying it's not higher, there's just no evidence to support that it is higher yet. Typically, police officers in divorce are about 46%, which is around the national average, unfortunately. That being said, relationships in law enforcement are unique, and they can be very difficult. They often lead to divorce or infidelity issues, but there are also a lot of officers in relationships that flourish and stand the test of time. I know many that have. But as I mentioned, I am a statistic. I was married for 15 years. That's 180 months, if anyone wants to do those in kid months. I have 5 beautiful children from a marriage that I wouldn't change for the world. I am now in a relationship and I've added 2 additional children, and I wouldn't change where I'm at right now for the world. Getting divorced in law enforcement, I felt that I was just another negative statistic, and that it was further proof that police officers couldn't be good spouses or good partners. I was mad at myself for not working it out, but embarrassed as well. But I will tell you, while I did change over 15 years, I also know that I am a good person. Sometimes people grow apart. It doesn't mean either person is a bad person. It could just mean that you're a bad pair. As I said in the intro, this podcast isn't my way, is the only way kind of thing. But these are my experiences, and this is how I have overcome them. I have a close friend that reminds me often, communication is key. If he listens, he knows who I'm talking about. This can't be more true. It took me a long time to realize this simple little act, but he's not wrong. When you first begin your career, you're excited to share stories. You're excited to have a partner who wants to hear those stories. They can't wait until you get home to hear the infamous tear of the Velcro from your vest, knowing that you're home and safe. And every one of you listening, hopefully, understands what I'm talking about. Then you come to bed and they can rest assured that you're home safe and sound. Over time, stories get old. Maybe you don't change your shift around enough, and you become cynical, dealing with the same people and the same problems over and over. You don't want to share the same stories because your partner doesn't want to just hear you complain. So you find that you take a little extra time getting home. You sign up for more overtimes, or you get out of the house and you do your own hobbies more and more, while your partner does their own hobbies on their own more and more. Eventually, all this leads to a failure to communicate. Trust begins to dwindle. Patience for one another becomes increasingly shorter. You might even get to a point where you resent the other one. It can lead to intimacy fading or going away altogether. Now, there is the idea that another person has taken your spouse, or you found someone else to fill the void, there's someone else to talk to. All of these are problems. All of these can lead to poor relationships and poor work ethic. Some would say that whatever issues you have at home with your spouse or significant other, stay there. And when you are at work, you can get away from it. I would say that is not true. Whatever you're going through at home will affect your work. It can make coworkers resent you or stay away from you because all you are is drama. Now you're having issues at work because because you take those home, and it compounds the issues there. So work problems become home problems, and home problems become work problems. They blend. I don't want to make it sound like there's no hope, because there is. I will suggest a few things that I believe can help you in your relationship as an officer, and that your spouse might be able to do to make you feel like they still have interest in what you do. First, communicate. You do this at work all day, every day. Do it at home too. If you're having a hard day at work, communicate that to your partner. If you don't want to give them the details of a person that used a firearm to commit suicide and you had to stand over them for 3 hours, then don't. But let them know you had to deal with something disturbing, and you don't want to talk about it with them, but you would talk about it with someone else. But allow them to talk, allow them to ask questions, and allow them not to understand. If you've ever uttered the words to your partner, you wouldn't understand, or you don't understand, you're very right. They don't understand. But this isn't their fault. We protect the public and we protect our loved ones from these things, so they don't have to understand. But it doesn't give you the right to shut down either. Communicate this. Partners, allow them some space. Don't push to the point of an argument. Don't push to the point that your officer shuts down. Don't stop trying, to communicate. Don't let them off the hook so easily. I understand it's a balance, but if you begin communicating your need to be included, maybe they will see that you truly do want to know what's bothering them. Officers, allow yourself some space, but offer a little bit of insight as to why. As I just mentioned, you can let them know you need space without giving them the details. You can easily say, hey, I had to deal with something pretty horrific at work and I need a moment. And you need to go out into the garage and fix your bike or whatever it is you do. But make sure you communicate that point. And next, another one that I really find important is date. Yes, we have all heard this. Take the time to go on a date. And I don't mean order McDonald's and eat it on the way home. I mean get a babysitter if you have kids. Dress nice. Officers, I don't mean dress in your fancy 511s and BDU pants with a blue line hat. I mean dress nice, look good, feel good. If you want to put on a dress and makeup, take the time to do it. Go out to dinner, go to a movie, go see a comedian, or do something you both enjoy, and take the time to spend it together. Many of us will say we can't stand when we see couples out and about and they're just on their phones, yet most of us are very guilty of doing this very thing. So connect. I don't just mean sex, but connect with one another. You were drawn to each other from the beginning, and there was a reason why, and there must still be that reason why. Change. Allow for growth and change. Partners, your officer will change. I'm sorry, it's the reality. They will grow, and they may very well become cranky. but allow change. Allow them to be more cautious. Allow them to wear the BDU cargo pants. Allow them to sit with their back against every wall in every restaurant. If anything, those cargo pants have extra pockets, so that's extra things. And officers, don't be jerks. You will change, but that doesn't mean the whole world around you will too. And it doesn't give you the right to be a jerk. So while you do, understand that others might and might not change around you. Maybe you no longer like hiking and now are more into biking. Well, discuss it with your partner and be willing to compromise. Here's an interesting one. Admit you're wrong. Yeah, you heard me say that. How does it feel to say that to yourself? Admit that you are wrong. You know, sometimes you need to admit you're wrong. Sometimes you need to apologize. And don't you dare just say, I'm sorry that you think I'm wrong. That's not an apology. That's you being a jerk. If you say that, you're wrong, and you need to apologize again. So as you've listened to my little list here, did you notice a theme? Communication. If you can't or won't communicate, it leaves your partner and it leaves you at odds with them. Being a cop is hard. Being a cop's significant other is just as hard. They don't know what you go through firsthand, and they only see the aftermath, but we have to be willing to let them in a little. And since we are talking relationships, how about something taboo? Got your interest? Counseling. What about marriage or couples counseling? There's no shame in seeking professional help, especially if the relationship is worthy of saving. I will leave you with one of my last thoughts that I got while I was in counseling. You have 3 choices when it comes to your relationship. You fix it, you leave it, or you stay the same. And I believe the importance is in that order. So let down your pride, discuss openly with your partner, and connect like you did when you began dating. As always, feel free to reach out, share your opinions, share your ideas, and share what's helped you. Even if it's something that you found you need to stay away from, please let me know that. You can always reach me at mentalpolicing@gmail.com or on any social media that I'm on. So take care of your mental health. Be safe, my friends, and we'll see you on the next one.
Well, we fell apart just in time. Ooh, you say at least it was worth the try. At least it was worth the try.